Hey, this is, I did a video yesterday about how I think the end is coming, and and then I just felt I woke up this morning and I thought, well, I didn't quite explain everything, but how I came up with this, and if you see the picture behind me, that's from a student at one of the schools I worked at in California before I retired, which was recently. And I think that, there's that, what is it? Edvard Munch, The Scream, that encapsulates too the horror of modern, modern living, and the fact that in the Israeli war, there's been, according to Wikipedia, 75,811 Palestinians, Lebanese, Israelis murdered. That's 75,811 lives snuffed out that'll never be lived, never. And the news, they're just, another, family got blown to little pieces in Gaza today, and doesn't that suck? They don't even say that. There's no commentary, right? Or the Israelis just fucking beat up, raped, tortured, murdered, journalists and others. Or Russia, there's 500,000 Russians and Ukrainians and others dead, million missing limbs or traumatic brain injuries from those howitzers, those 777s. You see these young and old people, young old soldiers, boom, boom, by those howitzers. I mean, their fucking brains are getting rattled. Trust me. CTE, football play. The injuries are incalculable, both psychically, physically, and every other way. And I talked about the thing that when I realized that everything could just end. It's based on nihilism, really. And there's that Big Lebowski scene where where the dude is blowing on Kitty's toenails, and and I'm not gonna say what she said, but because it's inappropriate. Yeah, talking about sex is inappropriate. Talking about dismemberment and little kids being blown to little pieces and their guts hanging out, that's all right. But talk about sex, ooh, mustn't do that. That's filthy, dirty stuff. Anyways, so the dude, he looks, and there's a guy floating in the swimming pool. He said, if you perform this sex act, isn't he gonna mind? And she says, no, Brett's a nihilist. And he's just floating there in the pool with an empty bottle of Jack Daniels floating next to him. And I think we've embraced this collective embrace of nihilism in the end, because there ceased to be a sense of outrage. There's no outrage. You've got a handful, you could have a school of little kids blown to little fucking pieces, and then with their little bloody backpacks, and you got what? I don't know, maybe a handful of protesters somewhere holding a sign saying, don't do that, Israel. Bad Israel. I really feel that, and the picture here, that a kid threw it away, and I pulled it out of the garbage. And as I did many of my students and other students, I just find random pictures of horror. And this picture is the product of a kid in a California school where we practice lockdown drills, shooting drills, where you get to, as a teacher, and I got to do this, it's quite fun. Okay, kids, everyone hide in the corner. Mr. Reed is going to make sure the door's locked and pull down the shade, and everyone get in the corner. And what you're saying is so that they're the shooter's line of vision. You know, they can't see the children cowering in the corner. And the thing is, that's normalizing murder and mayhem, and especially in America where guns are ubiquitous, where there are more guns than people. And, you know, I mean, I can't extrapolate out that embrace of horror and the practice of horror, horrific possibilities, Sandy Hook, you know, that it, I just, I've never gotten over that. I don't get over dead kids, dead people. So, you know, some lady walked into a fucking uncovered manhole yesterday in New York City, and the poor lady was fucking boiled to death, and you could hear her screaming. That affects me. It's not funny, you know. And some, you know, there's underground dwellers in New York City. They can't afford rent, and these motherfuckers, they leave. Sometimes they leave the manhole covers off, you know, for convenience reasons or whatever. And this poor lady, the horror, you know, Apocalypse Now, you know, Kurtz, his last words are the horror, the horror, the horror, you know. And maybe civilization as we know it, maybe, you know, maybe it's always been horrible, but the magnitude of horrificness with modern technology and the ability for information to be sent from one point to another in a gigasecond or whatever, or, you know, diseases to be spread, you know, lickety split from one plant, you know, whatever. The world has become so small, you know, and you would think that no, when we lived as hunter-gatherers in bands of 50, that anthropologists say that was like the perfect amount, you know, 50 people. You can, if there's a dispute, you can, you know, there's enough family ties and enough resources and enough, you know, 8 billion people, which is huge, and yet, in a sense, it's even smaller than the 50. You know, I mean, in the 50, there's way more intimacy and contact and this and that, and yet, when you amplify our ability to say something horrible to somebody, or have a troll bot, or, you know, in a split second on the other side of the world, that too is very sort of intimate. And you know, the tribal community has grown, and the tribal community of 8 billion have, I think, collectively embraced the idea that we're fucked. We're fucked on the most beautiful planet. We got all these resources, we got all these great things, and yet there's just this handful of nihilists who take some dice. Let's see what happens, because we're going to be all right. We're going to be fine. You know, my billionaire children, they're going to be fine. Your children, don't care about you. We do not care about you. And that to me is appalling, disgusting. My outrage is real. I've been outraged for longer than I can remember. And, you know, and people are like, you should be taking a chill pill, yo. I've been taking chill pills too, right? It ain't helping. Anyways, I love you all, and try to do something to make the world a less dangerous place today. All right? All right.